Greetings, humanity. I am Jim, and this is Channel Otherdoc. I'm Jim Ryan. I use he/him pronouns. This is our short campaign of Dune: Adventures in the Imperium, a game by Modiphius Entertainment that adapts the universe of Frank Herbert's Dune series. I have got a new technical setup that is giving me a little bit of trouble. So I don't know if things are going to suddenly explode or if we're going to suddenly vanish at some point, but we're going to see what happens. We're hoping for the best. We're hoping for the best, and we'll see how things go. I've also got like a completely new sort of I've got a new audio setup through what the programs that I'm using, so we'll see if anyone can hear us and things of that nature. So we're going to go around and say hi to everybody and find out who they are and who they're playing. Unfortunately, Lynn could not be with us this evening. But we are going to be starting instead then with Jen, who's the next in line. So we will head over to Jen. Hello.
Well, I'm Jen. My pronouns are they, them. I'm playing Hunter, whose pronouns are he, him. And he is a smuggler who is fine doing bad things, but kind of maybe cares about some stuff now. Maybe-ish. That's me.
Indeed. Caring, it's a thing that happens. It happens to the best of us. But now we'll go ahead and head over to Janie. Hello.
Hi, I'm playing a character. What's her name? I don't know. It's Rose or Esther or who knows at point. She's somebody. And my name is Janie. Yeah. And I am not a character. I'm a real person. That sounds so horrible. I'm just going to stop talking.
I mean, every day, I that's a thing I have to tell myself. Certainly, I know that it's because I have so many identity issues. I can tell you. But now let us. Awesome. And now let us head over to Nicky. Hello.
Hello there. I'm Nicky, he, they, and I am playing Silas Chin, the bodyguard to the heir. And yeah, he doesn't really do the intrigue stuff and just barrel ahead and hope things turns out for the best, and we'll see how it goes.
Yes.
Brewing up.
Excellent. Just like in real life. Just like for me in real life. I am playing Nero Ionos Versai, who is the Spacing Guild liaison. And if I can wrench my brain around to be slightly less distracted at any point right now, this evening. So before I hand things over to our GM, like we do with the other games on this channel, we're going to be using the X card, the N card, and the O card. If we hit something that's crossing a line for us, any of us can type an X in the Zoom video chat or anywhere else, hold up a card, make an X symbol, and we'll back up and do something else. If something happens that we're okay having in the game, but we don't want a graphic description of it, we can type an N in the Zoom chat and we'll fade to black on it or put it behind a veil. So it'll be there, but we won't go into detail. Finally, if we're exploring a topic or an area of roleplay that's particularly intense for us, but we want to keep going anyway, we can put an O in the chat to let us know we're okay and that we're all good to keep piling on the drama. Something else we can do is put an O with a question mark after it when we're moving into a difficult topic, or if we say or we do something and then think maybe that might have been a little too much. Then everyone else can respond to that, again with an X, an N, or an O to let us know if we're still doing okay. We're also using the pause. If any of us needs to take some time, we can ask for a pause in the game while we discuss things, or just take a break for as long as anyone needs. As a reminder, just a few content warnings. This game may contain references to violence, betrayal, drug use, imperial oppression, body horror, colonialism, worms, hallucinations, thirst, and starvation. You can see that by typing in the chat !Dune CW, content warning, and that will pop up. That'll also be popping up regularly because I do have it on rotation, so folks can see that. And also, please remember that we have an open door policy, which means that any of us and any of you can feel free to step away from this at any time if we need to. It's just a game, and mental health is always more important. And now, without further ado, I shall hand things over to our GM, Brian. Hello.
Hello, I'm Brian, and my pronouns are he, him, and I'm playing everyone else with a whole panoply of pronouns. And I cannot guarantee that we are not all living in a simulation. So let's see. When last we left our intrepid crew, you had just wrapped up what turned out to be a really successful gala thrown by the Salt Guild, largely in honor of Rose. But I think everyone got something kind of cool out of it, so that was nice. Several days have passed since then. Does anyone have anything that they have been doing during that time?
Believe I was invited by my former guard.
That's true.
I mean, it can be 3 days. I mean, I don't care. But if it's supposed to be the day after, I would like to do that.
It is, yeah. It is whatever. That was Paolo Gantry.
Mm-hmm.
He definitely invited you to meet him back at his offices in the Salt Guild. So we will definitely play that. That may be the first thing we play. We'll see. Anyone else got anything that they were doing during the time? And if not, I have things that have happened to you during that time. So,
I mean, I would just be following up on all of the tales that apply to every person that is possibly suspicious.
Oh, that's a really good point. I have information to give you about some of them for sure. So yeah, I know one in particular you were definitely having followed, we'll get back to you on her for sure.
Yeah, but beyond that one, there was, I remember there was another group, right, of people that were like a bit suspicious. I think it was 4 of them, like in a group, being a bit sketchy.
Yeah. Oh, right. Those were the Mentats. Specifically from the Salt Guild. So were you having them looked into more closely? Is that the plan?
Yeah, like they are the ones that are being looked into by my underlings. I am focused on the Bene Gesserit herself.
Okay.
It seems like the biggest threat.
Yeah. The Bene Gesserit seems like the one that might require your specific attention rather than sending some poor doomed underlings after her. So that checks out.
Wasn't Rose invited to more things?
Oh, a bunch more things. Yeah. Okay. Some of which the consort has asked you to steal things from. So
I did that.
Yeah, some of the things that she has asked you to steal are actual items. Some of the other things are like information and stuff like that. So just kind of get an idea of what the people are. So I'm gonna in a little bit I'm gonna give you a list of potential missions that she would like you to engage in, and you can let me know which one or ones Rose is most interested in, and we can jump on one of those.
Okay.
And Nero, what are you and the Space Adams family up to?
Yes. So I think that there was someone that we made contact with. So there was someone I made contact with last session.
Yeah, you scared the hell out of the logistics guy.
Yes.
Let's see what else happened on that one. That was Laris Foster, the logistics master for the Salt Guild.
So aside from the usual kind of trying to essentially secure our position and figure out, so 2 things. All right. One thing is the follow-up on what we did last time, which was after what was, sort of continuing a communication with Laris Foster or Forrester?
Yep.
Forrester. And just trying to basically as again, this is prelude to sort of figuring out if they want to use the guild services, that kind of thing.
Right.
But trying to get the best deal we possibly can, that sort of thing.
Yeah, and
if at all possible, trying to figure it out in ways that they will end up owing us favors. But at the same time, I want to make sure that, at the same time, we're living here, so we want to make sure that any deal we make is fair.
Yeah.
So that's kind of important.
That's also good. Yeah.
So there's that. There is. Good God, I'm thinking of more things as I'm talking, which is unfortunately how it works for me. Thing 2 is also kind of figuring out, just listening to any Spacing Guild scuttlebutt I can about anything changing recently.
Right.
Anything I'm going to need to be apprised of, so that we can maneuver if we need to. Because I'm trying to just sort of figure out, with the people on this new planet, where the power bases are and what we might need to do to how we need to address them, basically, with respect to transit.
Okay.
So that's the second thing. And the sudden third thing that I thought of while I was talking about just involves checking out the Ionos shipyards.
Oh yeah,
and
that's true.
Finding out if they have any connections that I might want to try to make use of.
Oh, good point. Okay.
Because I've got but I mean I don't necessarily think any of my relatives directly are there because, like I said, we're spread out quite a ways. But
yeah.
It's still I'm still somewhere. I'm probably still somewhere in the company register. So
oh, definitely. And more to the point, yeah, you're yeah, it kind of looks good to check in on that stuff anyway. So that's fine.
Yeah. So those are all the basic things.
Okay.
And spending time with family, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Of course, in your case, spending time with family involves more OPSEC than it does for most people. So.
It generally does, yes. I mean, it's fun for them, so
Gotcha. All right, fair enough. In that case, I think we in just a minute we are going to start with Hunter and visiting his old friend. And but before that, Rose, there were two major things that the consort asked you to look for. One of which is House Moritani. They were they're mostly a martial house. They are known for their military prowess, and they're known for training noble families in swordplay and military matters along those lines. And they seem to have a serious inferiority complex when it comes to House Ganaz, which, by the way, is your bodyguard was not directly trained in Ganaz, but the person that trained him was. So so there's that. They have a few things that the consort is interested in, and some of those things are not going to be on this planet for long, because a lot of houses are visiting this world specifically to attend the grand gala that is going to happen once the High Chancellor and the consort actually arrive. So this is an opportunity to get to a bunch of people and things that they might have with them that's not going to come along again for a while. Because some of them are just, staying with other people while they're here, or have set up their own residences. Some of them are just staying on their ships. And the more tiny guy is one of the ones that's staying on his ship. But he is the holder of a specific sword that goes back centuries, if not possibly millennia. And it would be a real blow to them if that went missing. And it would be a real blow if some other house were seen to have been the one that stole it. Not, of course, House Versai. We don't want House Versai to get implicated in this. But, if you could steal that sword and pin it on someone else, that'd be great. That is the information that you got from the consort. The biggest problem with that mission, though, is that it's on his ship, and his ship is going to be extraordinarily well protected and guarded. So there's your problem. So there's that. Also, House Procyon and House Latan are the two houses that do not like your house. House Procyon is the one that is really more of a rival. They're not trying to murder you or anything like that. They were the etiquette house that, they still are the etiquette house. But House Versai is the one that's been taking a lot of their business as far as like events and things like that. So they are here because, etiquette sort of demands that they show up. And the consort is interested in sort of any information that you can get from them, but doesn't have like a specific thing to steal. Primary advantage with that one from House Procyon is that they are actually staying in a house, just a house that is sort of being rented from the Salt Guild, and it's quite nice. It's a nice manor and things like that. But because it's not theirs, they would not have been able to set up the security to the extent that it would be if they actually owned the place. So getting in might be a little easier. And finally, House Latan is here. You've seen you and your bodyguard both have seen agents of House Latan here, and they're the ones that are actually trying to kill you. And by you, I mean you. They are trying to kill like Rose. They'll take some other members of the house if they can get it, but unfortunately you're the prize here. Now, the disadvantage for them and the advantage for you is they do have to follow very specific rules as far as this war of assassination goes. So right now, you and your bodyguard have done an excellent job of keeping you out of situations that give them an advantage. So right now, you feel pretty safe, but you know that they are here. One thing that you don't know is you don't know who hired that Bene Gesserit yet. It's entirely possible it was House Latan. They may have done that. But right now, clearly your bodyguard's working on that, but has not yet found that out. But because they are here, and because they used to run this place, they still have a small manor out on one of the islands. Meaning you could conceivably get out there and get some information to find out what information they have on you. Because here's the thing, when you declare Conley on a house, that means they get to try to kill you too. So right now, technically, both of you are in a state of vendetta against each other. It depends on how much you want to do that. Now, again, that one's going to be super well protected because it's been their house for a while. So no need to answer yet. I'm just letting you know those are kind of the three things that the consort mentioned before you came here.
Well, I do have an idea.
Mm-hmm.
My idea is I am going to plan an impromptu kind of like tea party.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to invite lots and lots of the ditziest people I can find, and the ones
Yeah.
that drink and party loudly.
Okay.
And I'm going to, I'm supposed I have some people that resemble me somewhat.
Oh yes, that is definitely a thing.
Okay, while this really loud party is going on, I want to have somebody that resembles me drink too much while I try to dress up like an art student
Nice.
and sneak onto the boat to get the sword.
Okay, got it. Okay, so that's your primary goal is you're going to do the House Moritani one?
Yes.
Not a problem.
And I'm going to set it up to look like a student stole it, and I don't know if I could hire somebody to pretend to be a student or hire a student to like just be on a boat near it with the sword and just kind of like pass out on the boat or something went wrong.
Yeah, I got it. So you're not going to try to pin it on a specific house. You're just going to try to basically to try to make it look like they couldn't protect their cool sword.
Yeah.
Is what. Got it. Okay, nice. I like that. All right, I'll get back to you on that one.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I have to get information too, don't I?
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, again, you don't have to do all of these at the same time, but
Okay, I don't think I could pretend to be drunk at the party long enough to do all of them at the same time.
Yeah. That's yeah. You're gonna you can do one tonight basically, and then but it doesn't mean you can't make plans for the other ones.
Okay, but when I sneak back in, I'm going to ditch the art student disguise, put a servant disguise on, and then my actual outfit is an event somewhere.
Oh, okay.
And then I can switch out places with my decoy.
Nice. I like that. Okay, we'll get back to you on that one because that's going to require some rolls. So we'll we'll get onto that one in a minute. And Nikki, I'll have some questions for you once we start that too, because we'll see what you're doing during that time. Meanwhile, though, let's get over to Hunter because you have arrived at, I'm assuming, with the requested bottle of wine.
Yes.
At
Half
the
empty.
perfect. Yeah, you're led through. Now this is his offices are in the headquarters, which is separate from the place that you had the ball. The headquarters is much more functional and workmanlike. It doesn't have quite as many fancy things in it. And you are, let through several layers of security, and then the person that meets you in the lobby to take you back to Gantry's office, she's very friendly, and she's she's extremely personable, but you can tell that that you're being escorted. This is not you know the signs. You also
I
sense
do, however, attempt to make sure that I remember exactly how we got in here.
Oh yes.
And check for branching off and other exits and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's not a problem, but it's a good thing you're paying attention because it is a little twisty. So once you arrive at the office, you are certain you've got a couple of escape routes in your head that look promising. So then, yeah, she knocks politely on the door. Gantry's voice from the other side bids you to enter, and she leaves you here after opening the door.
I hold up the bottle of wine. I walk over to him and clasp arms, shake heartily, and clink the bottle of wine down on the desk. Finally, your turn. Have that. It was wonderful the first half, so I'm pretty sure you're going to enjoy it too.
He laughs. I was expecting nothing else. He pulls out a couple of not glasses, just metal cups, and pours each of you a couple of wine. and takes a drink from his first, as if to show that either he doesn't believe you've poisoned it, or he's not worried if you did. I'll
actually cut in and say, I have nothing to gain from that, nor do you with me.
He nods. Times change. And he says, to that end, he reaches underneath his desk, and you hear a button click, and you feel a shifting in the way things sound around you, as if he has put up a kind of like an actual shield, but also done something to soundproof the room. And he says, Hunter, been hearing the name, was extraordinarily surprised to see that you look so familiar.
I was pleased to see that you got out alive.
He points at the one metal eye, and he says, it was difficult, but some of us survived. And he raises his glass to you as one of them.
Absolutely. Clinks glass, guzzles down the wine.
It is, by the way, really good rice wine. And he says, you're here with the Versai contingent then?
I do the occasional contract work for them, yeah.
But you are open to other offers?
Certainly, I'm not pledged alone to them.
Huh.
What are the offers?
Well, I mean, the Salt Guild can definitely use somewhat of your talents. We have used specifically you, but I mean more directly.
All right. What would that look like?
Well, any number of things. We've got resources. We've got, I mean, not to put too fine a point on it, but we have this world fairly well locked down. But the boss, she's got
Bigger
a larger
ambitions.
vision. Exactly. And the previous regime was resistant to anything getting off planet. And it's not that we didn't, it's just I'm wondering if things might not get a little easier with the new people.
What makes you think they'd be easier?
If I'm honest, it's more of a hope than an observation. Mm-hmm. But I don't think they could get much worse than they were.
I certainly got the impression that most of the people on the ground weren't fans.
No.
Though they do have loyalty higher up.
You're not wrong. And there are still factions here that would like them to come back, oddly.
Well, so let me ask you, if I were to take some contract work with you, more contract work, more focused and steady contract work, would it be a conflict of interest for me to try to persuade Versai to have a light hand with you? Or would that be mutually beneficial? Would I don't know, perhaps benefit more in concrete ways from you if I did that?
I think that would be excellent, actually. If you have the ear of the right people, that would be extraordinarily helpful.
Indirectly, but I can put words in the right ears, I think.
And if not, again, I don't want to get in the way if you've got a good thing going, but we have some things that we we have some things that we could use and some things that we could stand to get rid of. And, well, some problems do not resolve themselves by simply throwing money at them, which means we've reached our limit on a few things. We can go into details later, but I suspect you can already guess what the nature of some of it is.
I'm happy to help. I could tell you have the hearts of the people here, for the most part.
For the most part. And if we could ally ourselves with the ruling family, or at least not be constantly in conflict with them, it would go a long way. What's your impression of them?
They're more substantial than you might give them credit for when first you meet them.
Suspect they'd have to be.
I don't know what their intentions are for the people here. I know their intentions for the planet.
Mm.
I don't know how much they've even thought about the people here. And that would be my biggest concern.
Mm. People at that level do have something of a top-down view, don't they?
Especially when they're outsiders.
Yes. Well, I have to say that was a bit of a shift for me as well. Going from working for your family to a very different operation.
Let me ask out of character.
Uh-huh.
Do I get a sense of how much I can trust him?
Okay, for a couple of reasons, yes. First off, I suspect you're a good judge of people. Otherwise, you probably would not have prospered in your current occupation. So yeah, first off, you're convinced that he hasn't lied to you at this point. And you were a kid last time you saw him, but your memories of him are that he was honorable and followed. Your memories are that he was honorable and loyal. And on top of that, he's probably the one. Like if you have any knowledge of the sword at all, he would be the one that taught you. So you would have you'd have information from him that way. Again, when you were younger,
Right.
but nonetheless. And personally, he always treated you well. Interestingly, he never treated you like a kid. He treated you more like a student, if anything.
Then I'll say two things. One, I have two things to say to you. One is more important than the other. I'll save the important one for a second. Do you have any extra time while I'm here?
I could carve something out.
Literally. Care to teach me more?
Absolutely.
Good.
Getting rusty?
Well, I wouldn't go that far. I'm just saying my blade could be honed.
We'll see.
Oh, you'll see. The consort for Versai, the new one.
Mm-hmm.
She showed up in our court right before the accusations came out.
Did she?
She did. I would never forget that face. I always had a feeling in my gut about her. That feeling has not changed.
You can tell you've surprised him. We're talking about Alessandra.
The very same.
Never trusted her.
Good call. This is what makes me worried about what they have intended for our people.
And she's going to be here.
She's going to be here, and she has the ear of the heir at the very least.
Forewarned is forearmed. I thank you.
I will get as much information as I can and channel it over to you. Conveniently, I will need to be seeing you for sword lessons.
Absolutely.
So we'll make sure that those are informative in dual directions.
Without a doubt. Yes, she left well before everything went to hell.
Of course she did. Would you want to hang around if you knew that was coming?
And things were far too chaotic for me to spend any effort trying to find out where she went.
I'm not blaming you.
Oh, no.
I hope that's clear.
No, I do enough of that myself.
Well, you can cut that shit out. That's a waste of fucking energy.
Yes. You'd think so.
Find out more about her. I'll try to find out more about her. I just have a feeling in my gut that she's bad news for all of us.
Could be. Huh. Well, much to think about on that one.
Yes.
So, I'll yeah, let you know if I find anything out. And
give me a list of the jobs you want me to do.
You'll have your pick.
Excellent. And more rice wine for sure.
Oh, that's a given. And he says, we are well behind on finishing this bottle.
I'll help us catch up, and I just start guzzling. And I think I put my feet up and I spend time just.
Yeah. After that, honestly,
yeah.
there's a fair amount of like legitimate reminiscing, and stuff like that. Actually, later on, he offers you a tour of some of the facilities. So if you want, we can cut back to that.
100%. Yeah.
But also, anything else that you're doing, yeah, let me know what else whatever you're doing like after this when I come back around to you.
Okay.
Meanwhile, we're gonna go to Rose, but I think we might need to talk to Rose's bodyguard first because, actually no, I need to talk to Rose and the Sword Master for a couple of reasons. How much of what you're planning to do are you letting your bodyguard know about? Oh, wait, you're muted.
I totally knew that. I want to say Rose trusts all of our group of totally honest, upfront people. So she would let them know what her plans were, and she's open to taking suggestions or whatever.
Okay. Right. And so knowing what she's planning, then what are your plans at this point?
Okay, well, okay. I think first things first, I will attempt to see like maybe one or two of my people within this tea party pretending to be guests.
Sure, you could do that.
Yeah, to watch over Rose. And second, Silas will believe that some of the other potential assassins might take this as an opportunity to make their move.
Good point.
So is Silas going to guard the decoy?
Oh yeah, you have the decoy as well. So
that's a good point. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, but if I'm there, they won't make their move.
Oh, that's true.
I will. Yeah, that's why I put in the disguised people. But I think what I'll do is I'll have the 1 or 2 people seated into the party, and then I will have the 4 mentats tailed in case, because I think it's only the mentats and the Bene Gesserit that are so far like the most obvious threat, right?
Right. Yeah, those are the ones you picked up under the party for sure.
Okay, yeah, and I will put like tails on the mentats to see if they attempt to take advantage. I will personally tail the Bene Gesserit because I feel like she might do something.
Okay. Got it. All right.
I can give you access to standby brain. I can give you access to Alexis if you want to use her for this.
Well, that would be good.
Yeah, if it would make sense for her to be there. She's
actually, it would.
15-year-old girl, you know.
Alexis
happens to be good at killing people.
At looking, yeah, and more to the point, she's very good at putting on the flippant and useless persona.
Yes,
that would be required for this mission.
I kind of have headcanon that Silas that she and Silas know each other from training to an extent, possibly.
Oh, probably. Yeah, I think you're
right.
I
think they ended up. We said they ended up actually trained at the same.
Well, the swordmaster of the house,
anyway.
Yeah, the swordmaster of Versai definitely trained Silas and would have been available to train Alexis. Yeah. So they would have conceivably
like
been.
I thought there was something about the assassin school that was like the same assassin school too, possibly, but maybe I'm getting my signals crossed. Yeah. Anyway, but that,
in that case, I will rope Alexis in, someone I trust.
Yeah, okay.
And also, just because I've been using them so much, I think I'm going to turn my little group of spies and underlings into an asset that I can use.
Okay.
And I'm going to call them the Thorns because the air is rose.
Nice.
And also, just to double check, the quality is always 0, right? Whenever you do the starting assets you have, the 3 that you get when you create your character.
Yeah.
And what does it affect the quality? It's just better, is it?
Yeah, it can basically, the asset system is a little bit weird to me because in my head I just call those things you have in the game, and mechanically I'm not certain why they tried to make it different, because really what an asset does is if you're trying to do a thing and you have an asset that clearly helps you do the thing, you can use it to get basically a bonus. You can use it to you can use it as if you were using one of your specialties, basically. That's an option. Although in the fiction, it's also sometimes you have to have a certain asset literally in order to do a thing. For example, a lockpick set in order to pick a lock. That would be an asset. But then again, at that point, it's literally like, duh, you need a lockpick set in order to pick a lock. So I'm not really sure why. But mechanically, the best thing they do for you is you can use them to kind of bump, increase your successes. Is really what it boils down to.
All right. Now I have the Thorns as one of my assets.
Yes, you do, and I like
my
that.
group of royal guards.
Oh, I love it. That's good. Which means since you've declared that, they are particularly well trained, and it also means that they are. You've got a little bit more control over what it is that they do and how they act. So you can, and in this case, what they're allowing you to do is effectively do your job while you're not actually in the room. You can sort of tell them what their mission is, and then if you want, we can cut back to that, and you can describe how they're acting if you want to do it that way. Because they are literally your agents. So that would allow you to effectively sort of be in 2 places at once.
Yes.
So, but again, you are after the like
The Bene
tailing the
Gesserit.
Bene Gesserit, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'll get back to you specifically on that, but I will tell you the hardest part was finding her in the first place. Once you did that, tailing her was not easy because she's clearly doing the things you do if you like want to keep people from tailing you. But you've managed to keep up with her for a couple of reasons. First off, you're not the only one doing it. You've got some people helping you. But on top of that, you're also good at this. Um, so I'll get back to you and let you know what you observe her doing in a moment. But first, Rose. Do you? Let's see. Let me get over here.
I have a question. Do we
Yeah.
all assets or no?
Yeah. You all have basically
3 assets, right? That's what the book said.
Yeah. You all have the option for 3 assets.
Okay.
Here we go.
Can I declare my group of Tits as an asset?
Absolutely.
I know it sounds weird, but I have a feeling that Rose would probably really play up her reputation of being a party girl.
I think that fits perfectly for Rose. Yeah, I think that works. And again, that'll just basically give you like when you're using that, that'll give you some advantages.
Okay.
And let's see. Do you have numbers on your character sheet?
No.
Okay, that's fine. We can help you with that.
I
So you're
don't.
that's
really
easy
bad.
to fix. And chances are you're just going to be like really, really good at the primary skill and the secondary skill. Those are discipline and move. So I can basically just we can work out what you would need to roll for those, and we can lock down those numbers like
Okay.
as you need them. So
Okay.
that's fine. So let me get over to Infiltrator real quick. Yeah, there we go. And that's going to be.
And with the
All right.
density that they will, if she needs them to gather, they will. And they'll keep secrets. You know, that they'll
Right.
even if the situation is not going. I'm not talking correctly. Oh my gosh.
All right. Let me look up.
They're like
Here we go.
the deep authority, the sneaky people.
I know what you mean. All right. So getting the people to pretend to be you and to set things up so that you can be on that ship, that's not going to require a roll. That's all pretty standard. The thing that's going to require actual rolling is going to be getting onto that guy's ship and stealing the thing without being caught. That's what's going to be the issue.
Okay.
So, so the way this works is your primary skill is discipline and your secondary skill is move. And I can describe those in a minute, but what it boils down to is your primary skill starts at 6 and your secondary skill starts at 5, and then everything else is a 4. And hang on, let me let you know what those other ones are. Let's get over to discipline.
Am I character 5?
Yes. I think
Okay.
that's the one that's left. So so we can set that up real quick.
Okay.
Because chances are it's going to take me a second to get to the right spot. Hang tight.
Sorry.
That's not a problem. Here we go. Perfect. Okay. So yeah, discipline, let's go ahead and assume that your discipline's going to be an 8 because it's
Okay.
probably the thing that you're going to want to do the most anyway.
Yeah.
And we're definitely going to give you an infiltration focus on that because that's literally what your character type is called. So, and the focus, all that means is you basically treat any success as 2 successes, is what
Okay.
that boils down to. And then the only other thing we need to figure out, let's see. Here we go. And your drives. Let's see. Here we go. Okay. And then you've got some drives. And the only reason we have to get these right now is we need to figure out what your target number is. So it's going to be whatever skill you choose to use, which in this case is definitely going to be discipline, plus whatever drive you choose. And your drive options, they're on the sheet, aren't they? So the drives are pretty much what they sound like. They are duty, faith, justice, power, and truth. And it depends. Like duty in this case would be duty to House Versai. Faith definitely applies to religious things in this setting. Justice is basically about balance and doing the right thing. Power is pretty much what it sounds like. It's the pursuit of greater influence, authority, or control over the universe around you. And then truth is something that is more of a pure. You're seeking more pure knowledge and pure information. And whichever one of those you think would be at the top, you get 8 points on that one.
Okay, so it's between duty and truth for me.
Okay. So basically, those sound like the top 2. So one of them is going to be an 8, the other one's going to be a 7.
Okay.
And then the other ones are just 6, 5, and 4. So just kind of rank them from 8 to 4, basically.
All right. So that I hit the wrong thing.
That is an issue I've had with these sheets.
Can I just change? I don't have to hit edit to change it on the sheet. I could just put it on there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, as long as you can tell me what the numbers are, that's really all we need.
Okay, so duty, that will be 8, correct?
Okay.
Yeah. 9 accidentally.
I don't think it goes that high. I don't think that's an option.
Well, that would make me like get the rolls really well, right?
I was going to say your difficulty would be excellent in that case.
Oops, and I put a parenthesis there.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Okay.
Okay, I think I put numbers in there correctly. I hope so.
Okay, and we don't need too much else right now.
Okay.
Because really most of what you're going to be using, actually, almost everything you're going to be using for this mission is going to be discipline. So we can work out what your other stuff is later.
Okay.
All right. So, yeah, you got your move. Actually, you got your discipline. We'll worry about the rest of it later. As we need them, we can fill that in.
Okay.
So,
what's my discipline again?
Discipline is 8.
Okay.
Because it's your primary.
Okay.
Well, more to the point, you started out with 6, and I'm just going to assume that you wanted to add 2 points to that to make yourself the best at that.
Yes.
So that just makes sense. So now, what you do is really either of us can. If we're going by the book, I select the skill and you select the drive. But discipline just makes sense here because it's literally the thing it's the one that covers literally everything you need to do to get into this place and steal the thing. And we're going to abstract it a little bit. We don't need to make a whole bunch of rolls by any means. unless things start to go wrong, in which case suddenly maybe we need to make a few more rolls. All right. So this place is well guarded, which means I'm gonna set the difficulty. It's well guarded, but they aren't expecting this to happen, so that knocks it down a little bit. I'm going to set the difficulty at 2, which means that you have to get at least 2 successes in order to pass the first skill test to get into the thing.
But do I need 2 successes or 1 because my successes count as 2?
Well, you'll need 2, but if you roll 1 success, that'll be your 2 successes. If you see what I mean.
Okay.
So yeah, you need a total of 2. So the way this works is, and this is going to be our first roll. So everyone, check this out. So what you do in this system, and it's too bad that we don't have Lynn here because Lynn's the one that actually knows this system better than I do. But what you do is you take 2 20-sided dice, and you roll them, and you're trying to get underneath your target number. And what you do to figure out what your target number is you add the skill plus the drive that you're using, which in this case is 16. So you're literally doing the things you're best at in order to try to get this. And so you're trying to roll under 16. Again, there are other things you can do to increase your chances. Right now, our momentum pool is 0, but when momentum ends up in the pool, what that means is you can actually you can take from the momentum pool on a 1-to-1 basis in order to add more dice to your roll. You can also do another thing, which is called taking threat, which means you give me some threat points that I can use against anybody later in the game. And those are basically just the same as momentum. So if you want more dice and you don't have any momentum to spend, or you don't want to spend momentum or whatever, you can say, I'm going to give you a threat point, and then I get another die to roll. So those are the 2 ways to increase it. Actually, there's another one. There's a determination pool. Everyone's got 1 point of determination, but you literally only have 1 point of determination. So those determination points are the things you want to spend if it's like really important. If you really want to get stuff done, for example, you can spend a determination to get an automatic 1, because even if you're not using a focus, if you roll a 1, it counts as 2 successes. So that's what's called a critical success. So if you roll a 1, it counts as a critical success. If you're using a focus, which you are, it counts as also a critical success. So if you roll a 1 while you're using a focus, you can get like up to 4 successes, which is kind of cool on 1 die. So right now, I will tell you, your odds of rolling 2 successes are pretty good. You're trying to roll under 16 on each of 2 20-sided dice. Now, having said that, you can add threat after you roll. You don't have to do it immediately. So if you find that you want to add some more, that's cool. One other thing I want to tell you before you roll is if you roll a 20, even if you succeed, you have to basically you take a complication. So you can succeed, but then something else goes wrong along with it.
Okay.
But other than that, yeah, roll a couple of 20-sided dice, and you're trying to get under 16 on both of them. Oh, yeah. Wait, I'm not looking at it. Let me get over.
No.
I can't believe it. Oh man. All right.
Are you don't do that on Roll20? So I don't know what you did to me.
Kidding. Here's what sucks. That'd be great in D&D. So alas, you rolled a 17 and an 18, which means that this is more difficult than you thought it was going to be. It doesn't mean that you've been caught because you're just starting out. So you've snuck up to their you've made it through the docking area and you've snuck up to where they have the spaceship docked. But you went in to do your normal kind of bypassing the locks thing, and you have remained undetected. Oh, are you wearing a disguise to do this too?
Yes.
Do you look like okay? Yeah. What do you look like when someone's just observing you?
An art student.
Okay, that just kind of wandered over here.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. So right now, you apparently have not been observed by anyone that thinks you're doing anything wrong. But what that means is their security was a lot better than you thought it was going to be. Like surprisingly, this is not um the security they have on this ship is extraordinarily better than you would have thought that it would be for the kind of ship it is and what they were doing with it. It's weird. It's like having military grade like a military grade alarm system on your Celica.
Okay.
On your 2001 Celica. Like so if nothing else, you've learned that whatever is in here, they are protecting the hell out of it. And they did a good job of like until you got to it, it didn't look like it was that big a deal. It didn't look like it was that well protected. It was like disguised as a worse security system.
I need some tips from these people.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, seriously, you didn't think they were this clever. if you know, but turns out, yeah, they've got someone working for them that knows what they're doing. So your options now, again, you're still here. But your options now are basically either find a different way in or keep trying this, but you've discovered that the difficulty is 3, no, not 2. You thought it was going to be simple.
Is there an obvious other way in?
Yes, there's a maintenance hatch that if you had the right tools, which are probably around here somewhere because it is a space dock, if you had the right tools, you could get in through the maintenance hatch, which would have the advantage of bypassing some of the security. The disadvantage is it's not going to put you in the part of the ship you want to be in. You have to work on that.
If I look for the tools, can I see if there's like a set of coveralls or something too?
Yes. And again, given your skills, I'm not going to make you roll to break into something that's basically not guarded. So yes, you could steal the tools and a disguise with no problem. Because it's literally just a locker room that like, and you wait until no one's watching it and no one's in it, and you run in and get the stuff.
Yes.
So not a problem on that one. So now you've got the tools, and we're back to a difficulty 2 because of just having to do the thing. But your goal is still, your target number is still 16.
Right. You know, when I play D&D, I never get these rolls on Roll20.
It would be so awesome. I know. And like, wouldn't this be awesome if if you were trying to hit someone with a sword right now? But no.
Yeah. I get like 3s and 7s and which would be perfect for this game.
So what you need to focus your D&D energy on this. And that did it. Okay.
Barely.
Yeah, but here, guess what? That's 4 successes. So, because both of them were under 18 and you were using your focus. All right. So now what's happening is you are in the ship and you're in the maintenance area, which is, I mean, it's cramped and it's not as easy to navigate through. But the only other thing that, and again, you're not going to have to roll to get up into the proper area of the ship. However, you are going to have to roll to make sure that you are not spotted by the people you can hear walking on the deck above you. So you can take a little time. Yeah, how do you want to approach that?
I'm in like a maintenance area right now, correct?
Yeah, and you're the only one down here, and you're sure of that. And the hatches to get up into the main area of the ship, that place that sword is, they're pretty obvious. But again, you can hear people walking around above you.
What kind of room is it?
It is the just personal quarters of the viceroy that is here visiting.
Okay.
So basically, like his bedroom on the ship.
And I can hear people in it?
Yeah, two different sets of footsteps for sure.
Okay.
One of them is moving around regularly as if on patrol. The other one is not moving in a pattern that you can discern. The other one seems to be just a resident of the ship walking around doing stuff.
All right. Is there an equivalent of a fire alarm I can pull?
Yeah, you're in the maintenance area. You can literally just break something down here.
Yeah.
And yeah. Yeah, no roll on that one. Yeah, that's easy enough to do. You can literally just like start yanking things out of other things and see what happens. And eventually some kind of alert will go off up in the ship. So yeah, you could totally do that.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, you begin doing that. You find the most important looking stuff down here and wreck it. And this has the advantage of now they're going to have to also fix their ship for real. So
oops.
I know. Oh darn. And you don't hear whatever alert is going on up there, but they do. And you can hear both of them scrambling for the cockpit. So they're way up in the front of the ship, and the quarters that you want are in the back.
Okay. So I can go and get to where I want to go now.
Actually, very easily.
Okay.
And I'm trying to think. Interestingly, you're not going to have to roll to get the sword because they figured that the security on the ship was enough that the sword's just in a display case.
Okay.
And it doesn't even appear to have any like alarms or anything on it because they just assumed that the ship was the protection.
Right.
So the only other thing that I think you should roll for is getting out of here with that sword undetected. Because that's and by getting off the ship's not going to be such a big deal, but getting far enough away from the ship, because the sword's not small. I mean, you can wrap it in something and you're not like waving it around, but nonetheless, it'll be obvious that someone is carrying something kind of weird. So in this case, again, let's just make a being sneaky roll, which we're back to discipline and did you choose duty? I think was that your?
Yeah.
Okay. So again, we're back to discipline and duty because you've literally been asked to do this for the house. So that works for duty for sure. And oh, hang on, you got 4 successes. What that means is if you want, you could put 2 successes, you could put 2 points in the momentum pool because you got more successes than you needed. I'm
Yes.
sorry, you got one more success than you needed because it was difficulty
Okay.
3. So yeah, that was me being wrong. So if you want, we're going to make our momentum pool 1 right now.
Okay.
And I'm just going to stick that in the chat so we remember it. All right, momentum is now 1, which means unless Janie spends this right now, everyone has the has the option to spend that momentum point later. All right, so momentum is 1. Honestly, getting out of here is only going to be difficulty 1. It's not that difficult, but something could go wrong. So let's do a roll on that one.
So 2d20.
2d20, and you're just trying to get under 16 on at least one of them.
What did I get?
You did it. Okay.
Okay, one of them.
Yep. Only on 1, but that's 2 successes. And okay, with extra successes, you can also kind of add things to the situation if you want. You can use those extra successes to do a different thing, if you see what I mean, to kind of like make it do something else or make it a bigger deal. Right now, if you want, you could just stick that also in the momentum pool if you want to do it that way.
Okay.
Because I can't, off the top of my head, I can't think of anything extra you would want to do. You're literally just trying to get out, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, because I don't really have anything I could put like in this sword case to kind of send them a message.
Oh man. Oh, that's interesting.
Can't think of anything that was.
I think the absence of the sword is enough to send a message. And this also means, yes, Jen.
One of those like cocktail swords.
Oh,
Yes.
there's no way you don't have one of those on you. You've been doing parties the whole week. You can do that. That's hilarious. Go for it.
Yeah.
And that doesn't cost a point. You just put it in. I'm not gonna. Yeah, that's not extra enough. But I love that idea. All right. So yes, you stuck a little plastic cocktail sword in there. So before we wrap up this scene, go ahead.
I want to leave evidence.
Yes, you do. What do you want to do?
Let's see, I'm pretending like an art student that we hate stole it.
Yeah.
So,
You're trying to pin it on like a specific art student?
no, just
Okay.
Whoever we can blame it on, and them not like destroy us afterwards. Sorry to that student. But I'm just going to like I want to make it look like when I was putting a cocktail sword in, that I had like a paintbrush or something in my pocket that got paint there. And I want to like drop a paintbrush.
Okay.
And I don't want to leave a footprint. Well, they won't be able to tell my footprints because I'm not wearing my shoes.
That's true. So basically, if I'm hearing right, you want to give them like a couple of false trails to run down.
Yes.
As they're looking for it. Okay. Yeah, that's not going to cost you any extra points. That's just that's all pretty easy to do. Once you got in here, honestly, most of it was fairly simple. And also you broke the ship. So all right, so you're out of here. We'll come back to the aftermath of this later, but am I remembering right? Are you heading back to the party after this? To the tea party?
I got to drop it onto a boat, onto like a little
rowboat. Okay.
I think I'm just going to put it on a rowboat and like put some more paint or stuff in there.
Okay. I gotcha. So your plan, So your plan is for them to find it. It's just, you're just leaving. You're leaving false trails on who actually took it. I like it. Okay.
Was I supposed to steal it for us or just to steal it?
Honestly, yeah. Just the stealing it part was was kind of what was supposed to strike the blow against them. That
Okay.
ha, we can take your stuff.
Yeah, it's stolen and it's left on the boat with a couple of art supplies and false trails.
I like this because if it gets out that some dumbass art student took it, that looks even worse. That looks worse than the elite agent of some noble house. This is just some drunk kid got in and took it, and it makes you look even worse. I dig that. All right.
And just so you know, Rose is like terrible at painting. So
Oof.
No one will ever pin that on Rose.
Funk out of it.
All right. And on that note, I think maybe we can take a short break, and then we'll come back and see what the rest of you are up to, if that works for everyone.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, we're gonna go to break. I actually do have an interview queued up. Do you want me to have the interview in, or do you want to, or do we need to be shorter than that?
I think shorter than that, given
Sure.
that we started a little late.
Okay, yeah, no problem. So we're just gonna go to break, and we will be back shortly.
Excellent. Thanks.
See you soon.
All right. Bye.
We have returned. We have wonderful things to tell you.
Okay, so now that we're back, okay, so we know what Hunter and Rose are up to, and let's move over to Silas now. So, as I recall, the last thing you were doing personally was following the Bene Gesserit, right? The one for the party. Okay. But I want to make sure I get the rest of this right. You also had other people getting information about those 4 mentats from the party.
Yes.
And then you've got your crew of people at the tea party.
Yeah, like about 2 people pretending to be those attending the tea party, and maybe like a couple of, just guards around that won't draw too much attention.
Right, which is funny because Rose is not actually back yet, but like she will be. So, but the good news is at least this time you you were hip to the whole thing. You know what was going on. So that's handy. Okay. So in that case, like I said before, finding the Bene Gesserit was the difficult part. So okay, this is a planet that doesn't have a lot of land on it. It's mostly ocean, which means there are only so many islands that anyone's going to be on anyone's likely to be on. There's the big island that actually has the place that House Latan used to live. And it is now the site of the new academy. It's just the old manor has been turned into, not manor, it's like a campus. It's like, it's a full-on castle. So it has been turned into the academy and is now full of art students and teachers and art stuff like that. There are a few other islands that are not too difficult to get to. And then there's the one that House Latan still lives on, or at least some members of House Latan still live on, because they had just a whole other smaller house. You know how like the Queen of England officially lives at Buckingham Palace, but she's also got like Balmoral and all of these other places that she has in other countries and other parts of the UK. That's that they've basically just moved into one of their smaller castles is what it boils down to. And they still have a presence here. And again, I will remind you, they're the ones that are, that have actively declared vendetta on you. One thing that you discover, though, is because I'm assuming I don't want to. In order to find her, I'm assuming you probably had some help too, like had people looking for her, and then finally someone like said, yes, she was spotted here, etc. So
like those people are better at espionage than me. They do the thing and then they tell me, and then I figure out what to do from there.
And on top of that, she knows your face pretty well. You danced with her, so so that's a fair point. Yes.
Awkwardly.
Yes, I thought that was excellent. So, having said that, you finally get information that she has been seen at the kind of oddly enough at on one of the outlying islands. It's mid-sized, so it's got a village on it. And she was spotted in a dive bar, like not even a particularly nice place, on the village on this island.
Okay. Is this island under House Versai's control? Is it like one of those that is still like part of House Latan and their small region?
This is one of the ones that is part of your lands here. So yeah, House Versai technically also owns that island as well.
Okay.
As they do most of the islands out here.
All right. So this dive bar, anything I know about it? Like, is it like a hotspot of like under the table dealings or black market stuff?
It's got that reputation. It's the place that criminals of a certain level hang out and make deals. And and it's literally criminals, like the actual criminal underworld, organized crime in this area is reported to operate out of that bar pretty frequently.
And is this the first time she's coming out, or is this bar where she's been lurking throughout the whole time?
This is the first time she's been spotted here at the bar. She has been spotted a couple of other places, but by the time you got to those, she was gone.
All right.
This is the first one where you've got a line on her still being there.
Okay, good. Okay, so what I will do is I will obviously have a couple of people with me, and I will be outside the bar because again she recognizes me. I'll be,
sure,
do the Batman thing, like at the thing, and then I'll have like one or two people inside the dive bar itself as like patrons.
Sure.
And just keep an eye on things and who she interacts with. Anyone that is like known to be like, dealers or like black market people, criminals.
Yeah.
Anyone she interacts with, they will pass to me and I will research into them and see if they're connected to any potential syndicates that are enemies of House Versai.
Interesting. Okay, so the good news here is that you're from the spy house. Which means that miniaturized communications equipment is definitely something that you and your people have. Which means you can have a radio. You can all basically be connected by radio on a secure frequency. That unless someone is really looking for it, they won't detect them. So the people that you have in there can communicate with you in real time. And even with that, I bet you're using some kind of code.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. So, so the first thing that you hear is that they verify that she is in fact in there. She's at a table with two people, and a little bit of time passes. And eventually she leaves the table and goes and sits at a table by herself. And the two people that she's left do not look happy.
And those two people, do I know who they are?
You get descriptions, but the people that you have watching don't recognize them. But you've got enough information to try to find that out.
Yeah, definitely looking into those two soon.
Gotcha. And are you doing anything else, or are you just gathering the information?
Yeah, on those, I don't know, is the internet a thing?
Well, it's not, because
it's not.
Yeah,
AI thing. Yeah.
And this does bring up a really good point. Technology in this setting is amazing for anything that doesn't require a computer. So if you can imagine a thing that doesn't require a computer, you can also assume that a spectacular version of that exists here, as long as a computer is not part of it. Now that doesn't mean that networks of information don't exist, but unfortunately they are. You literally have to go to them or talk to someone that is at that repository. And by repository, I mean, like, no kidding, a physical database or a library, or just a collection of actual files, something like that. Which, by the way, your house has. Your house has a lot of those. So you could radio back to the main house and give them some information and have them start working on it for you.
Yeah, that is exactly what I'll do while I continue watching the Bene Gesserit.
Okay. Well, in that case, she's by herself for a while. One of your people reports that she's nursing a drink. She's more pretending to drink than she's actually drinking. And then eventually, someone else approaches her, and this is someone that that your people do recognize, because it's one of the it's someone that has they are not a member of House Latan, but it's someone that House Latan has hired for things. And by hired for things, I mean kind of like this person is similar to this person's job is similar to Hunter's job. They're
Smuggler.
a smuggler for the most part. That doesn't cover the whole thing, but that also doesn't cover Hunter's whole job. So yeah, they're a lot like Hunter, really. It's just like Hunter, except they work for Latan.
They suck.
And that person approaches the Bene Gesserit's table.
Is there like bugs so that like you're the satellite that you can use to listen to people's?
Actually, yes. What's going to happen is one of your people's going to have to get close enough to do that, but they can.
Right.
So you come in. Oh, this is interesting though. In this case, they are not really communicating in code. They're being circumspect. They're not just coming out and saying stuff. But you catch enough of the conversation to get the idea that House Latan is trying to hire the Bene Gesserit.
They're trying at this moment, or have they done it before?
Literally at this moment, they are trying to hire her.
Oh, so House Latan is not responsible for the assassination.
And you get the sense that this is the first time they've approached her.
Okay,
So,
do
yeah,
I get a
that-
sense?
Go ahead.
Do I get a sense of what job they're trying to hire her for? And is it her personally or the Bene Gesserit as a whole?
Her personally. And yeah, because again, no one's going to come out and say it. So they have to be really circumspect, so it takes a while. But yes, the idea that you get is that they definitely want her to be their agent officially in this war of assassination. And as far as you know, your house is the only one that they are in a war of assassination with.
Yeah.
And she doesn't say yes, but she doesn't shut down the offer either.
Ooh. Okay. And how does this Latan agent, smuggler, react to it?
Fairly neutrally, actually. They promise to take this information back to their employers.
So, like, no real alliance with House Latan beyond the dollar.
Not really. Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, you get that sense.
Oh, maybe they can be bought. I would like to look into more on this smuggler as well.
Gotcha. And the smuggler actually, because your people recognized them instantly, you got a lot more information right off the bat. This is a person that is primarily focused on, interestingly enough, art smuggling. And like legitimately art smuggling. Which is one of the reasons that your people already know about them, because well, I mean, art. So there is a thriving black market on art of all kinds, unsurprisingly. House Versai, interestingly enough, is only tangentially involved in that. But a lot of the stuff that your academies produce ends up on that black market.
Okay. All right. So what I'm getting is this Bene Gesserit came here to assassinate Rose either on her own or hired by someone else. Now Latan is trying to approach her. So that means Latan is probably not responsible for this particular assassination plot.
Right.
Okay. How long does the Bene Gesserit stay at the dive bar before leaving, or does she meet someone else?
She hangs out for like another 20 minutes, and then you get reports that she is standing up to leave.
All right. I will continue to have her tale first, but this is how many days before the tea party?
Oh, the tea party. That's a good question.
Because what I would like to do is, at some point, I feel like at some point I would have gotten like sort of like clear idea of where this Bene Gesserit would be. I would like to have a couple of people of mine, just as a general crowd around, to sort of like talk about this tea party so that she will get wind of it and maybe she will bite.
Okay, fair enough. Not a problem. In that case, it's enough. It's long enough before the tea party that you can get word out. And while you are busy making preparations for the tea party, which a lot of it, as we've discussed, involves getting your people to do whatever it is they need to do. Let's see. So is your plan to hang outside the tea party and see if she shows up?
Yeah, so like nearby.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, people will naturally assume that I would be there anyway, but
absolutely,
since this is a private tea party, I will be outside.
That makes sense. Okay. In that case, yeah, you spot her, but she's observing as well. She hasn't entered.
All right. I mean, I will acknowledge her presence. Like, but I won't engage yet because don't want to spook for now.
She nods to you as you acknowledge her, and eventually she just walks towards you.
Fancy seeing you here.
Yes. Too bad they're not playing our song.
Unfortunate. You here for the tea party? I hear they're about to start.
Oh, I didn't get an invitation.
Oh, it's walk-in for certain individuals.
Is it now? She says, tempting, but I sense a trap?
Trap, perish the thought.
She laughs. She legitimately laughed at that.
I hear the scones are to die for.
Oh. And unfortunately, I've already had lunch.
Lunch, you say? Been to any nice restaurants?
Well, a few, but I think I'm losing my taste for seafood.
Understandable. I can recommend a place if you like.
Do tell.
I say the name of the dive bar.
Right. You actually get a raised brow out of her for that one.
Yeah. I hear the alcohol there is amazing. I don't know what kind of food does this dive bar serve. I'm sure I would have known at some point.
Yeah. You've got the whole menu.
Yeah, and I will say something of theirs that is nice that is not seafood.
Yeah.
Just it's a bait. It's clearly a bait. So
Yeah. She says, I'm impressed. You get around more than I expected.
Of course, it's my job after all, as a tourist.
Yes. Well, I think I'm rapidly becoming one of those myself.
Good, because I'm expecting to see you more often these past few weeks.
Yes. Huh. Well, let's have another conversation sometime, someplace a bit more private.
I look forward to it.
So do I. This job is a lot more surprising than I thought it was going to be, and that's not a good thing.
All the best jobs are.
Mm.
I feel like whoever your potential employer is, they might have shortchanged you in terms of information.
I'm inclined to agree.
I mean,
the sort of
after
thing
all,
that can break a contract.
Exactly, because after all, all enemies of House of Versai know that if they wish to kill the heir, they should plan for 2 murders. Because so long as I'm alive, she is alive.
I admit, I underestimated you. And I think I might have underestimated my target.
A common reaction.
I'm not used to this feeling. It's like
I'm glad I could. It's
wool sweater.
I'm glad I could instill some new emotions in you.
And I thought you were just good at dancing.
Among other things.
All right. Fine. She's not even in there, is she?
That would be telling.
Yes. Well, you've told me enough interesting things for the day. I'm not going to press it.
Have a nice day.
Oh,
we'll
yes,
see each
you
other
too.
soon.
And with that, she walks off the other direction.
Needless to say, a shadow is nearby.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'll just, spend the rest of the tea party just outside the door, keeping an eye on things.
Nero.
Hi.
Where are you?
I wish I knew. All right,
and keep in mind, this can literally be at any point in the last few days. It doesn't have to even be now necessarily.
So, meanwhile, in space.
Yeah.
No, it's a great question, right? Because so we covered. Going to need a little help. We covered. We covered the things that I wanted to do involved dealing with one
of the things you were going to do was check out the shipyards.
Yeah, so I was going to check out the Iona shipyards. Right. I remember there was a thing where I was supposed to end up getting taken on a tour, possibly of the of Bilaris.
Right, of sort of their operations.
To see so kind of what they might need and what they have to offer and what they might need. And then I think that the other thing was guild related and had to do with just listening for rumblings, that kind of thing, just listening.
That's true. And there is obviously a guild office here. Yeah. Which operates both as a point for the people to make arrangements for travel, but it's also a bank. It's a bunch of things.
So it occurs to me that I understand we can't there's no need to role play through all of these necessarily.
Sure.
But order we just want to pick the most interesting one. But order of operations is probably for this is to find out what the guild deal is.
Gotcha.
Seeing about the Iona shipyards is one of those things where it's like second if there is time to see what is available as resources there, or to just reconnect, see what's going on there.
Right.
And then so armed with information from 1 and 2, then going on the tour with
Gotcha.
with Laris. So whichever of those is going to be most interesting for us
That
to
makes sense.
present here, I think that is probably the one that is probably where I am.
Okay, and we can kind of we can catch up on a couple of those things just by discussing them. For example, yeah, honestly, the guild checking in with like your. This is a good question and something we haven't determined. Are you the guild representative? You're the guild liaison for the house, right?
Yes.
So there is a guild representative here on planet.
Yeah. Remember,
that
it's
you are sort of dealing with.
We're only now setting up a formal presence for the guild.
That's exactly right.
There could easily be another representative here on the planet if we want that to be the case.
Yeah, because we didn't discuss it, but like, tell me if this works for you, and if not, we'll figure out what it is. Yeah, there is a guild office, and you are attached to that because you are a member of the Spacing Guild, obviously. But your official job is liaison between House Versai and the Spacing Guild, right?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. So there would be sort of a guild representative here, by which I mean there would be like a guild official here that would run the office.
All right.
Which would probably be your first point of contact for any guild matters. And of course, that person would be important enough that they would have a bunch of people around them. How about this? How about House Latan? There is no such thing as a noble house that's powerful enough to keep the guild from setting up shop if the guild wants to set up shop.
True.
But you can limit the guild's operations if you actually control a world. And House Latan was doing that to the greatest extent that they could.
Oh, see, that is good. That is information I need, because I can then see the places where they're doing that, see who they were screwing over.
Yeah.
And then I can, that makes it much easier to befriend those people and get them in my debt, which is going to be a delight.
Okay, so we can assume you've got a list of those already.
Okay, good.
And you've spent some time adding to that list.
Okay.
Now, as far as the guild goes, the guild would very much like to expand now that Latan no longer has those roadblocks in place. And they are trying to do as much as they can before Versai really takes control here.
Ah, I see. Okay.
And they aren't going crazy with it. They're not trying to ruffle any feathers. But the guild is the guild, and it's going to do what it wants to do.
Right.
So they are taking advantage of every opening they've got.
So I think the thing here is to set up potential opportunities for the guild here that in reality I actually still control in some way or another.
Okay.
So that
gotcha.
They're not working for House Versai, but in fact, in reality, they're working for House Versai.
I gotcha. Fair enough.
They're working in the interest of House Versai, regardless of whether or not they're actually doing any official jobs for them.
Okay, so we'll just yeah, you are.
We're not throttling.
On that.
We're just keeping our hand in the bowl.
Gotcha. All right. So definitely not closing off some of the things that you can see them moving towards, as long as you feel whatever they are getting is not going to keep you from also doing your stuff. Okay.
Yeah. And just like where necessary, try to get to those things first and figure out
very good.
Figure out an angle, basically.
Interestingly, one of those things is the Salt Guild. So that may be covered by your tour, or at least more information. Now, the next thing you were doing was the shipyards.
Yeah, just checking out the Iona's shipyards and making sure, just seeing if there's anything I might need to know from there, or things that I Like, oh, hey, wait, what does my family have that might help me with this?
Yeah, you need to check in on the other side of your family, right?
What do my blood relatives need here?
Yeah, no kidding.
Although, again, like I said, I don't know if any of them are actually here, but it's, they own it, so.
Right. Now, I feel like some of their operation, in fact, maybe most of their operation is going to be orbital. Because some of those ships might need to be built in space.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I would expect.
Right. Except they also obviously would have a presence on, like on the planet in order to kind of run things from here.
Is it time to build a space elevator?
It might be. Ooh, yeah. Yeah. Honestly, I think so. I think we have to have a space elevator here. So fair enough.
So long as it's not going to stick out as like, this is the only space elevator on this planet, therefore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because those things are almost impossible to hide.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, this is an interesting question. Does your house only build spaceships, or do they build water vessels as well?
So I think that I imagine that their main gig is spaceships.
Okay.
But I think they also they probably do have a sideline in atmospheric vehicles. It's obviously not as popular as the spaceships, doesn't bring in as much money as the spaceships necessarily. Right. But we do offer those in areas where, it's gonna make sense. I think a lot of it is stuff geared to be compatible with people who also use spaceships.
Fair enough. On this world, that ends up being like a lot of hovercraft. Because again, the vast majority of this world is water. So you've got a fair amount of hovercraft, some particularly fast ocean-going vessels. They also have a line of cargo vessels, again, water-going. And when you check in, you are let in to something that they've been working on recently, which definitely combines the needs of this world with their specialty for pressurized vessels. They are working on some submarine craft that the general public is not aware of. It doesn't show up in the brochures.
Okay, good. There are several things that could be useful for.
Indeed.
Yes.
Cool. Tests are going well. There are some parts of the ocean here that are just unfathomably deep. Like the level of pressure is a challenge to design around.
Yeah.
And that's the thing they're working on right now. They have a team specifically trying to go as deep as possible. And because you are who you are, they've let you in on that. They aren't giving you a whole lot of details.
Yeah.
But they are. They're not trying to hide it from you. Like when you go to talk, they're like one of the engineers is particularly excited about it. He's like, yeah, look, we found this thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
She wants to talk shop with you, so she's like, yeah, look at this cool thing we did.
Yeah, and obviously, I can do that. That's easy enough.
Yeah.
It's it's probably like almost like a brief break for Nero to get to talk about that again, because it's like
actually,
this is what I grew up around.
Yeah. This is
yeah.
Reminds you of your childhood.
Yeah. So he probably does such chatting with a degree of nostalgia.
Yeah, honestly,
when it comes down to it. Okay, cool. And then I can also develop contacts there again and just sort of make that.
Yeah. You've got you now have an idea of like which people to talk to about specific things here. Other than the submarine thing, no one's doing anything particularly surprising or unusual.
Okay.
But this is the first time you've heard of your family working on anything anything this complex, and
Yeah.
new. Like most of their stuff is already very well established.
Yeah. Yeah. That is interesting, and I'm also I'm a little, of course, a little suspicious, wondering about the motive to suddenly do that. I know it's this kind of planet, right? But I'm wondering if there's something down there we need to know about. And also, where are they getting the funding for
Well,
this project?
that is exactly the point. Because one thing that you know about that side of your family, they don't make anything if they don't have a potential to sell it. No, not potential. If they don't have a guarantee to sell a thing, they don't make a thing. They have not told you who's ordered it.
Yeah. So. Yeah, we need to figure out who that client is, because that's going to become important.
It might be.
Okay. All right. Well, that's something to go back and talk to the other side of the family about.
Yeah. Good point. Okay.
Because I have a feeling some of us might have the ability to find things out. Given our jobs.
Yes, it's what some of you are particularly good at.
Yes. So that's a thing to do. Okay, so that's a thing to look into when I have the opportunity.
Okay.
So I guess then the big thing is probably then just with that knowledge going and doing the tour, yeah.
Right, and we can. What are you trying to get out of the tour? What is your goal here?
So the thing here is to, again, see where there are opportunities, try to figure out what they need, and what, if they have anything we need. And then with the knowledge that I now have, that what the guild's trying to do, and also the things that that are happening at the Iono shipyards, knowing that I need to be on the lookout for certain things. Just kind of so to gather this one is this is the information gathering portion before I actually present some kind of an offer to somebody.
Absolutely.
So I need to find out what's bargainable here.
I'll get back to you with some more details later, possibly next session. However, I can give you the broad strokes.
Sure.
What you get right off the bat is definitely I mean, Laris is not beating around the bush about it. He's very clear that, just like he said at the gala, he's very clear that he would like for it to be easier and less expensive for them to move stuff off world. That's honestly, I mean, and again, he's not, he's not making a secret of that. He's just like, yeah, things are great here, but what we'd really like is to be able to sell some of our stuff in other places, and the spacing guild levies are prohibitively expensive. Our profit margin is razor thin,
right,
once we get off planet.
Okay. He wants to be able to get stuff off planet more cheaply. And
he makes it clear that ideally he'd like to do it legally.
Yeah.
But the key word here is ideally. He doesn't seem opposed to doing it in other ways.
Do we have any?
Now, that's the thing he doesn't come out and say. I will tell you that. But he hints at it strongly.
He hints. Wait a minute. The thing I didn't quite hear. The thing that he was hinting at.
That they're not opposed to doing things illegally if that's what it comes to. But ideally,
they'd like to do it legally.
They'd like to do it legally and above board, and work with the guild, etc.
All right.
But House Latan was he doesn't have any proof of this, but he thinks House Latan was keeping the guild too tied up here to open the doors to any of those possibilities.
Okay. All right. Do we have any? Does the guild have any contract-based discount programs or things of that nature?
Oh,
that I'm aware
absolutely. In fact, House Versai is getting a big one right now.
Okay.
Because it has a time limit on it, but House Versai has gotten a significant discount on the travel required to set up this new world.
Okay.
But that's not going to last forever. But there is precedent, and you probably negotiated that.
Okay. Cool. There are a few possibilities here. And so I think that there's the question of if we have do we have any I don't suppose we have any extra space available on that, do we?
On what exactly?
On the wait, again, our transport contract.
Oh,
It is a temporary thing, so it's only available for right now. But
that's a fair point. Yeah, it could. Yeah, you could work in a. The way this usually works is if you kind of piggyback on someone else's stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of have to work through them. So in this case, it'd be House Versailles, and House Versailles would sort of, would allow some space, possibly for some sort of remuneration or other compensation.
Yeah. So like, yeah. So my thought is that there I can I have a few different thoughts actually.
Mm-hmm.
But so that's a possibility. There's the possibility of setting up trying to start working toward the negotiation of some kind of one of these of a contract deal of some kind, knowing that knowing that the guild wants to do business with these folks.
Right.
And that it was previously throttled back by Latan. I think that it's entirely possible we can. I'm not telling him this, right? This is all like stuff that's going on. This is Nero is smarter than I am when it comes to stuff like this. I have to talk it out.
Yeah, got it.
But the with the idea that we can. It's like they both want this thing, and so the idea is very simply to make it look on both sides as though I am doing a miracle for them. Essentially.
Gotcha.
They both want this thing to happen. So this is one of those things where it's like, great, I can now figure out this deal and carve a nice slice for myself as needed.
Gotcha, not a problem.
Where I can, and hopefully what that slice actually is, not as much in temporal resources, those are nice, but as in you owe me type deals.
Absolutely.
It's like, and so I'm looking for that for both. I'm actually looking for that for both the guild and for the for the Spacing Guild and for the Salt Guild.
Right.
If I can work it that way.
Yeah.
And the one other piece of the puzzle that I think might be amusing, if I juggle this correctly, is there might be ways to achieve that more easily, possibly using Ionos resources.
Fair point. Okay. Yeah, that's something to work on.
If that's doable. So
yeah, not impossible. Okay.
That's my strange little juggling act I'm thinking about doing, if it is feasible to do.
We'll talk about that possibly between now and next session, but we can hammer out the details on that. But it is decidedly not impossible.
And again, it's like, if I'm making it needlessly complicated by bringing a third thing in or whatever, we don't have to do that part. If it'd just be easier to do the intermediate.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
What we might end up doing is abstracting it as a role.
Mm-hmm.
And not now, but maybe next session we may abstract that as a role.
Yeah.
And that will tell us how good you're able to make it for the different people involved.
Yeah.
And worst case scenario, you might have to make it less advantageous for someone.
Yeah.
I kind of like that idea.
And,
okay, we can.
And
work
it's
with
one
that.
of those things where, like, we can try to work in something where I can, if I've got the resources, we can offer some piggybacking up until a certain thing takes place, and until
100%.
things are more cemented.
Right.
But that's really more the thing. Yeah.
Got it.
I think.
Now, as far as details go, what he is showing you on this tour, and by the way, you guys are like on a speedboat, basically.
Oh, great.
And he's driving you around. He's driving himself. He's doing the piloting of the boat.
Okay.
And it's literally just the two of you.
Okay.
And what he's showing you is he doesn't come out and say it, but you're certain that what he's shown you is a fraction of their operation. And they have, what he shows you is an island full of enormous warehouses full of stuff, most of which they have extracted from the sea. Now, a lot of it is salt, unsurprisingly, hence the name of the guild. But some of it is gold, and some of it is other rare minerals that you can just extract from seawater. And a non-zero amount of it is fresh water that they have desalinated and are holding in reserve right now just for sale on this planet. But he makes it clear that, he knows other places could use it. And water is famously heavy, but he'd really like to be able to move some of that if he can.
Yeah.
Also, he shows you a few floating warehouse operations that are, again, they are huge. They are, for all intents and purposes, really slow ocean-going vessels that just happen to be basically just full of cargo space. But they can move when they have to. And he implies that every now and then they have to move them because of weather. Because one of the things that he lets you in on about this planet is that there is basically nothing to slow a storm down once it starts.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
When almost all you have is ocean, you get some bad storms.
Yeah, that makes sense. And
he tells you, honestly, that's the biggest thing that they have to worry about, is just not getting their stuff obliterated by a hurricane.
Okay. Huh. All right. I'm just a little curious about something. You have anything that you have a lot of information about this planet, and I can see you've got a lot going on here. But do you have you have analysts, I presume, who have plumbed the depths, as it were, who've been looking at it and just sort of looking at the whole ecosystem? Yes.
Yes, several
things from this planet. Yeah. And how far down have you been able to go? This is pretty good stuff. You've been able to. Looks like you've delved pretty deeply, huh?
To some extent, but we're limited, not just because of the pressure, but because of some of the creatures that live at those depths.
Ah. Huh. Interesting.
We suspect there may be excellent resources on the other end of those, but right now the cost-benefit is not in our favor.
Yeah. So it's really a question about trying to get in some kind of environmental control, yeah. But of course, it's very difficult to get to that kind of something on that kind of the kind of scale, obviously, that we'd be talking about. It's I assume controlled environment things are not very much a thing in this universe because Dune.
Yeah.
But
Kinda.
yeah.
He says, I mean, I'll tell you the problem. The problem is anything we can build that gets that far down isn't big enough to bring anything useful back up.
Of course. Interesting. Okay. I think there's something. I don't suppose you'd be now. Is the data that you've accumulated thus far, is it proprietary, or do you have or do you have the ability to offer it up?
Depends on the data. Some of it we share freely. Our satellites are widespread. I suspect Space and Guild might be interested in renting some time on those.
Well, I was thinking about that. So I think I'm going to have a little chat with a few people, and I'll see if there's something maybe we might be able to hammer out. I think that perhaps we could make a temporary arrangement at the very least until such time as we get other things going, perhaps for a little bit to take a little bit of the burden of the expense off of you, just for a little bit. If we did that, do you think that might perhaps be, shall we say, easier to share some of that data?
Sounds like a good start.
I think so. Excellent. Really know your stuff.
Yeah, well, so do you. And perhaps we can work together.
I think this is I think things are moving in a very good direction here. I think we have definite opportunities. The important thing is not to squander them. And I say, I just sort of look at him, just sort of that sort of shift, just sort of look at him, the mobster, just sort of click.
Yeah.
Switch
Now,
thing.
here's the thing. Yeah. When you guys were at the party, you had clearly intimidated him just by your presence. Mm-hmm. Here, he's in his element, so he is less so. But his eyes get a little wide at that.
Yeah.
And he says,
yeah, and it's not a threat. It's just this is fucking serious.
Yeah, no, he's not taking it as that. He's like, let me tell you something. Every single one of us, even the people here at my level now, we came up. We came up through the ranks. You don't lead if you can't work.
Yes.
And every time you go out, you know you might not come back.
True.
So I say this to assure you, we are very good at not squandering our opportunities.
I'm glad to hear that. That is precisely what I wanted to hear. So I think we're going to get to start testing things out.
He says, we got a little bit more time. Let me show you where we keep the cool stuff. And he guns the boat.
Delightful.
And with that, it may be time to wrap this up. So thanks, everybody. And I have one question for each of you before we close the role-playing part of this. I'm going to start with, I think I need to start with Hunter on this one. What do you want to either work on or see happen for next session?
Well, I explained my asset off stream.
Yes. Would you like to tell people about it now?
Briefly, yes. So my asset is a pet lemur named Parsec. And Hunter's not very great at interacting with people to elicit information, but Parsec is cute as hell. And so Parsec can just hang out with people while Hunter drifts into the background and listens to what they talk about. So I'm going
Nice.
to be doing that probably around our household, around the Versai household. I want to get more information about what people think with the consort coming.
Okay.
Yeah, and also, Nicky, do I know if Silas comes from? Do I know that he comes from here?
I think it would have come out at some point if we talk.
Okay, I feel
Okay.
like there's a conversation to be had with you next.
Okay.
But
Okay.
that's
So
what I
that-
want to do in the middle is I'm gathering information about from the people in House Versailles about the consort specifically, and about who I might want to give like good information about the Salt Union to like encourage good relationships. Sorry, what were you
Okay.
saying? Nicky, what were you saying?
I was just gonna say maybe you don't know, and then you found out, and it can be like a drama there. Like, oh, maybe
So
you're
I don't know
working.
right now. I don't know right now. That works fine. I'm looking for the grapevine in terms of information about the consort, and then also like anyone other than Nero who I need to talk to about like let's be cool with the Spice Union.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I will be talking to Nero about it, of course, as well.
Right. Okay. Should be approached. I'm just making some notes about.
Yeah.
Okay, with the Salt Guild. Got it. Okay, thanks. And I will get back to you on that. Either at the beginning of next session or between now and next session. We'll see. All right.
Good.
All right. So who wants to go next for what you want to do or what you're looking for out of next session?
I'll go next.
Yeah, Nicky, what's up?
Yeah, so obviously Silas will continue tracking all of the threads that he's been tracking.
Because I need to get you more information about those mentats, and I will.
Yes,
okay.
and the mentats as well.
Yeah.
That's like the next thread to explore, and also try to find out more about the people that the Bene Gesserit has been talking to. And also I would like to follow up on the smuggler. Feel like if they are motivated by money, maybe they can be turned, and I can find out what House Latan's up to.
All right, not a problem.
And
I will get you. I will get you more information about that for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. All right. Anyone else?
I think Rose is going to try to. She's going to contact House Latan. Which one is the one that the social house?
Oh, that's Procyon. Procyon is the one that doesn't actively want to kill you. They're just rivals.
I need to get information about them, right?
Actually, yeah. If it is possible, yeah, they're looking for yeah, kind of to see what they know. If they're investigating anything. Really just trying to find out if they have any secrets, I guess, is kind of what the consort's looking for.
So what my character is going to do is she is going to contact them.
Okay.
And ask if they could please help her plan this reception that she was told to plan it, because she has no idea how to do it.
Oh, I like it. Okay.
And she really wants to make a good impression, and she feels like she hasn't. And I'm going to say that this reception is for gosh, this is such a big lie. I don't know if she can pull it off. So just a reception to kind of, I forgot the term, to kind of see if they could officially end the thing with House Latan.
Oh, like a truce?
Yeah, a truce.
Yeah.
Like,
wow.
Why she's not worried about that.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a reception where people are probably trying to kill each other.
Right, because once again, they haven't declared vendetta on you. So this is not, they definitely don't like you, but you know, you'll have an easier time calming them down than you will Latan. Latan has actually tried to kill you in the past.
Right, but I want to make it like it's a big diplomatic thing. Like we're really trying because we're gaining all this power
Wow. Okay, we'll definitely play that scene. Okay.
But she will let at least her bodyguard know about it.
Right.
But yeah, this way she figures that they would probably want to help so that she's not such a terrible party giver.
Interesting. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, that'll be the next thing you do, I guess, is meeting with some representative from Procyon. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that. Well, that's gonna be interesting. All right. And I guess Nero, what are you wanting to work on and or do next time?
So, first off, I want to coordinate with Hunter on what's going on with all these things and try to just make sure that we're doing what we need to do. Actually, overall, I'd like to. My own little wish is I'd like to do more scenes. I'd like us to get to do more scenes with each other a little bit.
That's actually my plan. That's one of the things I'm trying to get.
Excellent.
That's what I'm hoping next session is going to be a lot about. Oh. So I'm glad you guys are already giving me ideas for how to do that. So thank you.
I'm hoping with that whole thing that we could all work together.
Yeah.
So there's that. I've got I also to that end further there's the point after Silas comes back when I get to have the little conversation. How was your field trip, Alexis? So
right.
I can try to find out more about what's going on in that situation, based on any of her observations. See if there's any way I can help there. And then, do you know why I asked for the data?
I don't.
Yes, I'll tell you why I asked for the data. Here's kind of the 3-card Monty thing I think I'm doing. So I'm going to try to use the data to help figure out what the deal is with the secret client. Their environmental data, I think, will help us figure out.
Okay.
And there are a number of ways in which that environmental data can help us figure that out. One is I'd like to kick the data over to Talus.
Absolutely.
To try to analyze it and crunch the numbers and figure out if it's what the if we can get the shape of what it is we're looking at.
100%. So you're trying to give Talus some clay to build some bricks out of. I got
yes.
you. Okay.
So that's one thing. The other way to use the data is possibly through trade of some kind with then back with Ionos.
Absolutely.
To see if I can get a little bit more leverage or try to figure out, get a little bit more, at least a little bit more of an in to figure out if they'll be able to share the more information or find a way to use that to help figure out, who their client is and what's going on with that. If it gets to a certain point, I may have to I don't want to strong arm my own family, but I will if I have to.
I mean, okay, fair enough. Okay, I think that gives me enough to go on. But
then, part of it is that I can then use because part of the reason is I kind of want to. I don't want to take. I kind of want to steal the sub project a little bit from them so that I can then offer it, or at least access to it, so I can then offer it to the Salt Guild. Because I think that'll help solve their problem.
That's fair point.
But
okay,
we'll see. But it's way too early for that part of it because
all right,
I got to figure out what the hell's going on.
Very good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks to all of you for that. That gives me some stuff to work on between now and next time. I will probably give you some information via Discord between now and then, just to have a little bit of a conversation and we can prep for it. And yes, next time I'm hoping, actually not hoping, what I'm going to do is I'm going to find ways to get you guys talking to each other this time. I'm happy with what we've done right now to set up a lot of stuff, so I think we're in good shape. And now I think we've got enough to kind of wind you up and let you just kind of run at each other and see what happens. So I think that's great. And that's it for me. So thanks a lot.
Yay! Woo! Awesome. No, this is great. I am heartily enjoying this. I am glad that my system did not crash part of the way through. But I'm starting to narrow things down, and we'll see what happens. as streams progress. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go around and get from folks, tell folks where they can find you. Feel free to plug whatever you like, and then any final thoughts you have about this session. And we will start once again with our GM, Brian.
First off, thanks again, everybody. I really like your characters. Like, we got to know the characters a little better this time, and that is awesome. Next time, again, I know I've said it a bunch, but next time, I think we're all on the same page. I'm shooting for actual interactions between you, so we're going to start doing that. And I am extremely happy with the way things are shaping up. And my favorite part of this is just the world building that we're all doing as we go. Every session we learn something new, literally about this world, but also about the universe that you're inhabiting. And thanks for that.
Yay! Excellent. Mute button. Excellent. Cool. And now we will go over to Nicky.
All right. Hello, everyone. I'm Nick. You can find me on social media on Twitter and Twitch. Well, as NicksNat1, the number 1, where I sometimes stream D&D when I can get my schedules to line up with my other players. But yes, that is where you'll find me most of the time. And favorite part, honestly, is just we can see that the past 2 sessions we are sort of like laying the groundwork for what is going to happen for the rest of this little mini campaign, and I can't wait to see all of it pay off.
Me too. Dear God, me too. Excellent. And now we're going to head over to Janie.
Hi, I am someone. My name momentarily, but that's okay because I am Janie Pot 7575 on Twitch and Twitter. And I don't know I'm never good at this part. I just need to write something down and read it out loud, but I keep forgetting to. So y'all are wonderful. I'm just going to stop talking again.
No worries. Awesome. No, perfectly fine. And finally, over to Jen.
So I'm Jen. I am pretty much off of Twitter. Yay! You could technically find me there, but you can't really find me there. I'm Jen Quixote. We happen to be on the same server on Discord. But more importantly, if you want to do Twitter related things related to me, go to Play Cancer Away. That's where you can really find my heart and soul. We're patients helping patients and people whose lives have been touched by cancer, helping everybody. So that would be a great place. That's my stuff. Oh, and Tuesday I'll be on Graham Cracker's channel at 4:30 Pacific, playing D&D, and we're about to get into combat, and we have been told that perhaps we should have like a backup character concept.
Uh-oh.
No.
Perfect.
So yeah.
Nice. Awesome. So I am very much looking forward to seeing what happens with this. It's sort of pieces of things for my character fell into place while we were doing this last scene. So I'm just like, okay, no, it's like this. I'm very pleased about that, and also just I loved what everyone was doing today. This was so good, and just that freaking the very dangerous flirting that Silas was doing was just choice. Was just glorious.
Honestly, I didn't mean to play it that way, but it came off as that vibe. And I'm like, you know what? Let's roll with it.
Just run with it. Yeah.
So good. So good. So I'm very much. I really want to see what I want to see more of that. I want to see what happens. But as for me, who am I? No idea. But for the time being, I'm Jim Ryan. You can find me at OtherDoc on Twitch and also Twitter for the time being, at least for the next few minutes. And in most other places, I am OtherDoc, where I am on various social media type thingies that I've been trying out. I have been trying out the Woolly Mammoth. I have been trying out the House of Bees. I have also the Instagram, which is Jim. Yes, that Jim is what Instagram is. But I think everything else is Other Doc. I also have revived the Tumblr, which I can't remember if that's Other Doc or Jim. Yes, that Jim. But it's one of those two. It's always one of those two. So feel free to go and look at any of those if you so desire. I'm not posting a lot on the. I'm still posting on Twitter right now, but who knows what the future holds. But in the meantime, my website is jimyesthatjim.com, where you can find my Geek Observation podcast and links to my various other podcasts, audio dramas, writings, and such. I have links down below to my website, Twitter, YouTube channel, and various other things. Tomorrow, provided my system remains stable, Lucci will be back, and we'll be playing more text adventure games. We're still working our way through Zork 2 right now. So that's going to happen hopefully tomorrow afternoon. On Friday, we return to Don't Rest Your Head, where we go back to the Mad City, and the Outer Veil continues. That's one of the two story arcs we're doing right now, two different groups in the Mad City at the same time. And they're in the Necropolis, so that's going to be fun. So it'll be interesting seeing there. And then, of course, on Monday, we have the other group in Don't Rest Your Head, the Inner Circle, and they just lost a member who just became a nightmare. Living nightmare that has now abandoned them, and so we're figuring things out. Actually, yes, I believe this Monday we're actually going to be taking a little time out because we now are going to be introducing a couple of new players, and we're going to do some off-stream stuff actually on Monday night, and we'll probably be back the week after. So, the Inner Circle actually is probably not coming back this Monday, but the Monday after, because big thing happened. They need to take a step back and take a breather. Then, of course, Tuesday, we should be getting back to Cult Divinity Lost. We're very near the end of that campaign. We've got a possibly terrible ceremony we have to do at an important building in town that is now there's this just sort of now little war being started between these minotaurs and these strange abyssal nuns of some kind. So that's terrifying. So I'm very much looking forward to that as well. It's an interesting horror game. Then, of course, back around to Wednesdays when we have this. And I really want to see more of this. So that is all I've got for right now. When we hit the end card, I'm going to try and send a raid over to... Let's see, who am I going to send it to? I think there's the Fabled channel. Looks cool. They're doing stuff. So I figure I'll go say hi to them. Feel free to hang on if you're so inclined and say hi to them with us. If we're able to. If not, we'll pick somebody else. If we can raid. A lot of channels have to do what they need to protect themselves right now. So that's why, it's like, that's my first choice for raiding for tonight. And then I'm going to see if that's not possible. We'll go to the next one. But feel free to hang on and say hi to them with us. That will be happening once again when we hit the end card. In the meantime, folks, thank you all very much for watching. Take care, and we will catch you next time. Farewell.